Cyn Doll, what do you think about the OLAPLEX controversy? And I'm like, what OLAPLEX controversy? This one. OLAPLEX causes infertility. I did my research and we will have to scratch all of my old OLAPLEX videos. Maybe you should never use OLAPLEX again. You have been saying online different things about OLAPLEX causing infertility. In this video, I'm going to explain everything to you on a scientific level. So get you a pen and some paper and stuff, and we're gonna get super nerdy. A lot of people are going crazy over it because, of course, infertility is something that affects a lot of people. So obviously, if something that you're using in your hair is going to cause infertility, you should for sure stop using it. So the question here would be, is OLAPLEX a product that you should stop using because of its link to infertility? Well, let's talk about that link. That link is called LILIO. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, then I'll put a clip right here saying it right, but it is called LILIO. LILIO is an artificial compound made in a lab. It is a chemical compound made in a lab and is used in almost all of the fragrances and cosmetic products that you have in your house right now. LILIO is also within your perfume, and the amount of LILIO within OLAPLEX is so small and minute, and its use inside of the product. So OLAPLEX was like, oh, it's a problem, no problem, it's not in there anymore. So any bottle that you order after the day here on the screen does not have LILIO within the formulation, but it is a ingredient that most of the products that is within your household right now can operate without it, because it's not meant to be an additive to penetrate the skin. It is a product that is used for scent only, just for fragrance, okay? Just for fragrance. What it is, like I said, is just something that is simply used for scent, but it is not meant to be having anything to do with the way that OLAPLEX works for your hair. It is not an active ingredient or a molecule that is absorbed into the skin or absorbed into the hair. So the question is, where does this whole controversy come from? Well, in March of 2022, so this really just happened, this product and this additive was banned throughout the EU, right? Why is that? Listen, this is the point, and this is something that I really want you guys to pay attention to, because most of the time we look at articles and stuff and we be like, oh, it's banned because they did the study and found this. But before you make a decision based on an article that they printed, what you first need to do is look at the actual study before you make your decision. This study, when these doctors and these scientists, came up with this article, the experiment that they were doing were on male rats, okay? A male rat, all right? A male rat. And they were not putting this on the rat's skin. They were not putting this on the rat's hair or like this or anything like that. They were actually feeding LILIO to these rats, okay? So they were ingesting LILIO into the body. And when the rats when the rats ingested LILIO, then that is where the studies came from. In male rats specifically, whenever the scientists went back and did the test and did the data, they found that after they were feeding LILIO to these rats over and over again, specifically the male rats had problems with infertility. They noticed that their sperm count was drastically lower. But this is from them performing a study on male rats, them feeding a artificial compound, a chemical compound, them feeding a chemical compound to rats. So that's why they had a problem with infertility, and I'm sure if you eat the OLAPLEX in the bottle, you're gonna have problems with infertility too. But see, the thing is, you're not supposed to eat it, so it don't even make sense. That don't have nothing to do with us. It don't. But all jokes aside though, this artificial compound is in all of your perfumes in your house, girl. It's in the ingredients, some of your foundations, some of your highlighters, some of your bronzers, because it is a scent. And can I just say this, Olaplex is not paying me to say this. Granted, I am an Amazon affiliate, so anytime you know, purchase anything through a link within the description box, then I'm always, you know, I get a little bit of commission. Olaplex does not know that I'm making this video, and they have not asked me to make this video, even though I know they're gonna like it. Hey, Olaplex. There are ways where Olaplex will damage your hair, right? But it's not Olaplex's fault. Even though hacks are great, right? In some cases, hacks can actually hurt you more than anything, because the original idea or the concept of a hack in the first place is to do something other than what the directions say. If somebody like, oh, Olaplex hack, what they're actually saying is, here is a way to use Olaplex other than or outside of the way that Olaplex told you to use the product in the first place. Some products you can do hacks with, granted, like for sure you can do hacks with a lot of different things, but there are certain products that you don't need to do hacks with, and Olaplex is one of those products. It is a molecule. And for example, one hack that's going around now that is trash and terrible, it needs to stop, and you guys will see the results of it coming up really soon. This nutrient that actually gets on my everlasting nerves that I wish somebody would stop, and somebody need to pop the lady who started it in the mouth. I don't know who she is, but you need to be popped in the mouth. I'm just saying. It's called the Olaplex bun. And what the Olaplex bun is, you basically take Olaplex and you completely saturate your scalp with Olaplex. And outside of you saturating your hair with Olaplex, you also saturate your ears with Olaplex. Then you take your hair and put it in a bun, and then you leave the Olaplex and leave your hair in a bun with the Olaplex in your hair for 2 to 3 days. That is the worst way that you can use Olaplex. So remember, when all of these different studies come out, if anybody does a study about Olaplex causing this disorder and that disorder, most of these studies are done on women who do hacks with the product, just like with relaxers. Everybody's like, oh, relaxers cause fibroids, where in reality there were a whole lot of women doing relaxer hacks. There were a whole lot of women doing relaxer hacks. And when you do relaxer hacks, what ends up happening is you're using the product wrong and your body responds negatively to it. That's how it goes, you guys. So I want you guys to remember that when you're doing all of these Olaplex hacks, it seems like a hack, but what you're really doing is damaging your hair. So then long term down the line, most people that say Olaplex don't work are the same people who learn how to use Olaplex from watching a Olaplex hack video. I'm telling you guys, there's a reason why Olaplex 1 is still not really available unless you go like to certain places like Ulta, because Olaplex 1 is the original molecule, and the way that you guys use Olaplex 3, it really explains why for the first couple of years Olaplex did not make the product available to the public. It has always been a professional product because Olaplex feared what's happening right now. You guys turning a professional molecule into a hack. You cannot use Olaplex as a hack. There are a lot of different products that you can do hacks with. Olaplex is not one of them. And to end everything off, no, Olaplex does not create infertility. This all is coming out now because it just was banned. LILIO, not Olaplex, not Olaplex's molecule or anything like that. The scent within Olaplex, LILIO, was banned, and in that country, in the EU, it was banned in all cosmetic products. And the reason that it's like whoop, 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 big deal now is because, first of all of this started in about 2019. Been in litigation investigation, and they've been going back and forth about this whole entire topic since 2019. But it wasn't until March 2022 that it was passed in legislation over there, right? So of course, if Olaplex has to change their formulation in one country, they're going to change it all around. So that additive is no longer in Olaplex altogether. I really need you guys to keep this in mind, because for everybody that has something negative to say about Olaplex, I need you to know that your exposure to Lilian is 70 times greater through your perfume. The perfume that you're spraying on your skin every day is 70 times greater with like spraying it on your skin, your absorption, than it is from you putting it on your hair or on your scalp, unless you're doing dumb stuff like the Olaplex bun. That's stupid. Stop doing the Olaplex bun. And if you have a problem with me saying that it's stupid, I don't care. It's stupid that you have a problem with me saying that it's stupid, because Olaplex told you not to put it on there like that. The directions are very clear. So y'all stop blaming Olaplex all the time for y'all hair coming out. You put it on there for 10 minutes and then you wash the shit off. I love you guys. Lastly, I'll do one additional question for Olaplex. Somebody asked if whether or not Olaplex was good for all porosities, because Olaplex 8 looks very thick. Well, guess what? No, Olaplex 9. It's a lot of them. Whatever the last damn one was, I put it here on the screen. Whatever the last one was, I put it here on the screen. But Olaplex 9 is not thick. Olaplex is a molecule. So when we're talking about porosities and all of that stuff, porosity is only something that you are worried about when you have a product that does not have a molecule small enough to penetrate the hair shaft. But when a product has a molecule small enough to penetrate the hair shaft, your porosity doesn't matter. For example, when we're dealing with relaxers, a relaxer's particle is small enough to relax your hair. The only time you have to worry about porosity is the level of lift that you use. For example, if you have high porosity hair, you're going to use a low relaxer. Why? Because your cuticles are already open. So you don't need a high relaxer because you already have high porosity hair. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, check this video up here and the one linked in the description box below. But stop blaming Olaplex for your stuff, because y'all the ones doing the stupid stuff like the Olaplex bun. So if y'all gonna throw away Olaplex, you gotta throw away all your perfume, all your makeup, boo, all your lotion, girl, all them products that you got. Like, you can't use nothing but water. Nothing but water.